or was I supposed to go to the library? Call the meeting to order. Tonight is my first official night. And if it's okay with everyone, I think I know everyone, but just to make sure, if everyone could introduce themselves so we'll know who we're dealing with.
I'm Bridget Cole.
I'm Monty Gluster.
Glenn Green.
Kamisha Sadler.
Gary Frazier.
I don't know that guy over there. All righty.
Good seeing you again.
Nice seeing you. All right. So I guess I'm here tonight to see what is the actual protocol. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Well, and I will turn it back to you. You have called the meeting to order, and if you will determine the quorum, and we do have a quorum.
See, that's the other thing we're going to have to fix. I totally apologize. I'm thinking this is a
fine.
work group. I'm sorry. We only do meetings, right?
We only do meetings.
okay,
We do
so this-
workshops.
Real deal. Okay, I
Called
do
upon,
apologize.
right.
I do apologize. Meeting has been called to order, and it seems there is a proper quorum. First thing, I'm going to ask for the approval of minutes for the regular held meeting for the Library Meeting Board held September 10th, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes with one correction on page 6, third line down, where it says that they have a Surface Pro at the library. I think it's a Surface Pro computer, but you could probably put a trapeze act in
Right,
that room, but I believe it's Surface Pro. Is
Yes,
that what that should
Surface,
say?
as in SURFACE.
Yeah.
And sometimes Miss Mary Brent has a hard time understanding what I
With the
say.
recordings, yeah, so.
But
that's-
she does an excellent job with our minutes, but I will be sure and have that corrected.
Okay. With that being said, I have a motion and a second with the proper corrections on the mentioned page. On that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. First order of business, again, I'm going to deviate from the agenda, and I'm going to turn it over
Sure.
to Mr. Buss, so I can stop looking like I'm totally lost.
You're doing a great job, and we are glad to have you on our board as our new chairman, so welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, update on the library card applications. You know, we are going to go, what would it be called, digital? Electronic. We have not got the signature pads in yet, or the cameras, but we are working on that. The holidays seem to kind of slow us down. We were hoping to get this in during the holidays, but we are still working hard on that, and Glenn is looking up prices and trying to find the very best that he possibly can for the electronic signature pad. And Chairman Alderman Jones, what we're doing, we're trying to get away from total paper applications. We will have them fill out a smaller application, which will also have the rules of owning a library card. And Glenn, you help me out if I'm being redundant or not saying what I need to say. And so they will fill out this smaller application, and we will input. They will sign a signature pad that has it on there that they are responsible for the books lost or damaged. That will then be put in as a file on the computer, and at the end of the day, and we'll have their picture made to put there on the account. At the end of the day, someone else will come, double check the information from the library card application to what's in the computer, and then shred. And that way we're cutting down on paper and looks very, very professional, and feel like it's going to be a really good thing. We've been working on this for a while. We're just trying to find the best products for our little library. Any questions on the update? Okay. Moving on to patron survey results. As many of you know, we started at Old Timers Day. We put out paper surveys for our patrons and even non-patrons to fill out, so that we can kind of get an idea of what our community wants and needs are. Zach Wilson helped me tremendously. We took all of the surveys, and he took the results and made us some great charts. We also put the survey online so that people could electronically do it and send it in, and that was very successful. Overall, we received about 150 surveys. So not a large amount, but it gave us a really good idea about the wants and needs. So I'm going to go through this quickly because this is for you to take home and look at. On the first page, things we can now do. We want to raise patron satisfaction and reach new audiences. If you notice, it says patrons feel successful in visits. The overall visit success was 94%. Some of them said that it was because of the unsuccessful ones, was they could not find the materials, or we didn't have it there. It's either was out there, supposed to be out there, or we did not own it. So we're looking into that. That's what inventory helps us with, is to get everything back in order, make sure the things that are in the catalog is correct with what we have on the shelves. But we felt like that was pretty exciting for 94% of the people to say they had a successful visit. Ways that we can improve this, we want to have more copies of the most popular titles. 58% of the unsuccessful visits caused by item being out. 65% of patrons use the library for their best sellers. We want to evaluate our signage and physical organization. As Glenn will tell you, we have moved books from one area to the other, trying to find a good place where that when the patron comes in, they're looking for a specific thing, they can find it. We have grouped some of our books together. We have a sci-fi section that we've had for a long time, westerns, large print. We now have urban fiction, which is really a good thing. We're building our urban fiction. And so we've moved things around, and we'll continue to do that until we find that it's where it should be. We can also evaluate new databases for finding books and authors. And we want to use Novel List Plus by EBSCO. And Gary, you're probably familiar with Novel List. No? Okay. And I should have brought the exact definition. I've ordered it. And it just really gives you a good way to evaluate all the new databases that are coming out. And also, like if you like this book or this author, then these are the books or the authors that you should go to next. Mm-hmm. And that's just another resource for the library staff to have that we can pass on to our patrons. And then you can see the overall reasons for unsuccessful visits there. Wi-Fi not working, 8.3%. Computers not working, 8.3%. Staff couldn't find it, 8.3%. I couldn't find it, 41.7%. No materials on that particular subject, 16.7%, and item was out, 58%. So we do know we need more titles. Sometimes there's not anything we can do about the Wi-Fi not working. We can plug and unplug all day long, and it just may not work. Computers, Glenn and Jackie are great about keeping us up to date. We had, I think, 6 computers that wanted to all go out at one time. And Glenn came over Friday and got them up and going, so we appreciate that. In order to improve our patron satisfaction, I am so sorry.
Satisfaction.
I am having the hardest time today. So I knew that was wrong.
Welcome to my world.
Satisfaction, and I have said that word I don't know how many times. Woo, trying to make it harder than it is. Okay, so improving that satisfaction. We're going to improve that. Areas needing more material. If you will look, non-fit is what adults said that we need more of. I know, that was the face that I made, Bridget. It's like, okay. So our next survey that's going out is going to be what areas of nonfiction are you wanting? So 61% want an increase in adult nonfiction. 43% want more history, so we do know that. and 25% more want more art and culture. So we will send out another survey to try to narrow that down a little bit and get the satisfaction back up to date. Thank you, Jerry. Make adult nonfiction more visible. Our nonfiction, by the time you get into our shelves, we're back in the back shelves, and some of the books are more narrow. It's a little bit harder to find. That's why we do a lot of displays. So we're going to try to make that more visible. Stop me at any time, and I'll be happy to answer what I can with the correct word. All right, educational programming. 48% interested in educational programs at the library. That includes 67% of our adults, 60 and over. Now, what we need to find is what types of educational programs, because we've had Medicare seminars, we have had just all sorts of different types of seminars, and it's hard to know what crowd to pull in. So if you all have any suggestions, we would love to take those.
Are you working with the senior center on those?
We
suggestions
are,
as well?
yes. That was very good. That's one of the first things when we saw 60 plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the seniors, they have a lot of speakers that come in, and so I may try to pull from some of those to see if that may be something that our patrons would like. Daytime programs for seniors, such as internet technology classes, book clubs, and gardening clubs. We have tried book clubs, and we usually end up with 1 or 2 people, but it's always, we can try again and see what will happen. And you can look over to see the interest there. Okay, long-term goals. We want to strengthen our community engagement. I think we do a fairly good job with that, but you can always do more. We want to increase collaboration with Laverne schools. We want to find new ways to connect with and serve the teachers. And Bridget, this is something that you and I had talked about probably a couple of years ago, about finding out the book list, or how, when a teacher wants a child to read a particular book, what are they talking about, and how can we find those levels and get them to where the parents can get right in. We would love to have a library card for every Laverne student and be the source for summer reading books. We are the source to a certain degree, but that's when we also need to get more copies of each one of those summer reading books, and to know further ahead what summer reading lists that they're going to be needing, so that we can make sure that we fulfill that. Also, increase after-school programming. We have 1 kids crafternoon a month, and we have 2 Lego clubs, and those are usually really full. We need to find more programming to draw those tweens and the teens in, and that's something we're working on. Build new community partnerships. We do already offer program space, and we would like to reach out to our veterans groups, our community nonprofits, and job placement agencies, which we do that now. We let them come in and sit in the front part of the gallery, and we had one group that she was averaging hiring in 3 or 4 people a week. And so she was doing this for about 4 weeks, and she did a great job. And so we want to reach out again. We do a job fair about twice a year, but there's always more that we can do. We want to become a community leader in adult education, resume writing, and job hunting workshops. I know that we have a bus that will come out and actually help with the resume writing. You just go onto the bus and you learn there. They have one-on-one contact with you, and it works out really well. But we would like to do more of this. Technology education as a strategic priority, access and education for technologies that will build practical workplace skills, and technology policies that encourage use of the library resources. We feel like we're there. We feel like you can get into our computers really well. One thing, we have a time limit of 2 hours a day per card or per temporary, your guest pass. Glenn and I were talking this morning that I would like to increase that somehow so that we're not just having computers set idle as we tell a person, I'm sorry, your 2 hours is up. We do have to have constraints, but we also need to be flexible in those so that someone who is job hunting can use the computer 3 to 4 hours if needed that day. So we are definitely looking into that. Any questions or? Okay. And then a glimpse at the future. Our largest group of cardholders are adults 18 to 29. They take 33% of our card-holding population. Have highest rate of unsuccessful visits was 11%. We do not want to go over that. We would like to bring that down, and we're going to work hard on that. 60% are interested in downloadable content. We are building our ebooks and our e-audios every day. We try to order some, and that's really becoming better. We're taking requests from patrons on what type of ebooks, what type of e-audios. 40% interested in databases, and print interest, which really warms my soul, remains high at 90%. And we want to build toward future with greater digital presence and improved access to e-materials. But right now, we feel like we're doing a fairly good job. There's just some things that we do need to hone in on and really improve. And we do take any of your suggestions. Any questions about that? We will be coming out with another survey soon.
I have a quick question about the summer reading.
Yes.
And y'all probably may know this, but I don't. Is it, do schools do the same, is it the same books every year?
No.
Or do they change it?
They change some. Generally, it's the same books, but we have found in the past 3 or 4 years, they're adding 2 or 3 new ones and taking away some of the old
Okay, so
ones that they used to have.
Okay, so that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering, if you end up buying 15 books of the same thing, then what do you do with them if they're not used again the next year? But if they're going to stay on a reading list for a set number of years, then
Right.
that sounds perfect, because you've made that investment. It's going to pay off for however many years they leave them on, 5 or 10 or
Right.
or whatever. So okay, that's what I was just curious about.
And what we have done with the books that have come off of the list, we will put them over in our homeschool section for a little while because some of the homeschool parents would like to use those. And we've also sold them in our book sale. And people have really got those, and it's worked out well. But it's hard to know what books are going to be on the list until we get that list. And generally, we do not get it until May. And that's when school's getting ready to get out. So with us working closer with the schools, we're hoping that we might be privy to having that a little bit sooner so that we can be prepared.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I know you've helped me every year with books, so, yeah.
You're
Yeah.
very good
Yeah.
about coming in and getting those books. And we always know, too, to always be prepared at the end of summer. That's when we're going to be bombarded with needing the books. So that's the way it goes. And I will never forget the word satisfaction again. And I do apologize. Little brain burp. Okay, moving on to FYI, the 2019 Library Board meetings. As you know, we meet every other month. So today is our first one, January 14th, March the 11th, May the 13th, July the 8th, September the 9th. If you notice, we skipped November. November is when we usually meet. Well, this past year we had a problem because, help me out,
Veterans Day.
Veterans
Night?
Day.
Was it National Night Out?
National Night Out, or was it?
No, it was, because it was a holiday this year, it fell on the 11th, and
Oh,
the actual holiday was the 12th. And so the 12th was when we were supposed to have the meeting, but several people are off that day, and so we canceled the meeting. So I talked with Bruce and with our chairman, and we decided to just skip November altogether because it was going to fall on the 11th. and we moved on to December the 9th. We felt like that's not too far into the month that it will be interfering with anyone's holiday plans or things of this sort. But we can still have our meeting there, our 6th meeting. Any questions? All right, 2019 library closures. You're going to see on several of them, when we have a holiday, there may be a Saturday that says RDO, that means regular day off. It's so that our staff can have a full weekend, since we do work Monday through Saturday. We all take a regular day off on that day to close the library so that the staff can have a holiday weekend like other employees. So Monday, January 21st, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we will be closed. Friday, April 19th, Good Friday, and then that Saturday, the 20th, will be an RDO. Saturday, May 25th, will be an RDO because of Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day. Thursday, January 4th, Independence Day. Saturday, August 31st, regular day off, with Monday, September the 2nd, as Labor Day. Thursday and Friday, November 28th and 29th, Thanksgiving, with Saturday, November 30th, as a regular day off. Tuesday and Wednesday, December 24th and 25th, is the Christmas holiday. And this is when we usually do our inventory and general cleaning. December 26th, 27th, 28th, 30th, and 31st. We're closed to the public, but the part-time will still come in, and any full-time who are not taking vacation at that time will come in, and we'll do inventory and general maintenance. Sometimes this is a really good time for IT to come in if they need to do some big updates where we would need to have no one on the computers for a while. And we have found that our patrons have learned this, and they work really well with us. We generally have no complaints. What we do is, before the holidays start, I go into the item due date and make sure that all items are not due until January the 2nd, so that no one has to worry about coming in and trying to put it in the drop box. You know, they're just not due at that time. And then Wednesday, January 1st, is our New Year's holiday. And then we will begin regular hours on Thursday, January 2nd. And then our next board meeting will be Monday, March the 11th at 5. Do we have any questions?
In the meeting notes from September, we mentioned that you would give us an update on the summer reading. And it's been a while since we had just a general library update. Can we get that at the next meeting?
Yes, you may, and I apologize for that. I will get that to you. Let me write it down so I'll remember.
And then with the emergency closure this week, did you have any bad comments from anybody?
Not on Facebook and not to me. We tried very hard. If anyone pulled up to where we had closed off, one of us, Debbie or I, would run out and try to get their books if they were trying to bring books back. And of course, we waived any fees for anyone who they were due that day. Alderman Jones, do you know that we had to close for emergency on Friday?
No, I was not aware of that.
Okay, and I apologize for not letting you be aware of that. The light pole in the parking lot, we knew that one was loose, and we were looking into getting a welder to take care of that. Well, we finally got a hold of a welder, but he said he could not fix the problem. So David had to get in touch with Boone Sign and Electrical Company, and they came out, and what the problem was is the bolts that go down into the concrete column were too short. And over the 15 years, the light poles have moved, and it basically stripped out the bolts. It also should have been double bolted with a lock washer, and there was only one bolt with a washer on it. So Boone came out, the Boone Sign Company came out on Friday. They started at 7. They pulled up all the poles one at a time, re-drilled holes, put in a 6-inch bolt, and lock washer, bolt, lock washer, bolt, and then they're coming back to do some sealant inside and then to cover with a panel. So they went ahead and did all 4, because we had 2 that were beginning to really start moving again. So they're all very safe, and we feel very good about that. But they could come out that quick, so we felt like we needed just to go ahead and close, because they did have a big crane, and they had to move around the parking lot.
All right, with that being said, I guess I have to take it back now. Again, thank you, Donna, and this board for accepting me into this position. I will attempt to do the best I can when I can. If there's anything that needs to be discussed with me, or anything that's coming up, or if anything that you might want to just let me know about, feel free to give me a call and discuss it. Again, just the calmness of this meeting, after the ones that I've been through, I sort of like this. I think I can get used to this, and I do look forward to working with each of you. Usually when I get ready to close a meeting, I like to go with each member and ask if there's anything that y'all need to say. This is your time.
Awesome.
I'm good.
Love this girl. Donna, is there anything else you know to say?
It's great, just appreciate the board very much.
Well, thanks for everyone coming out tonight. I call this meeting adjourned.